Hello. Happy Friday. How are we all doing? Welcome to a surprise live here on your Friday, the 8th of August, 2025. We've got a press conference, which we didn't get to watch yesterday during the team show, and I don't know if we're going to get a chance to watch it tomorrow. So I started watching the first few minutes and I thought, let's watch this together. What we're going to do in this show is we're going to react to yesterday's news now that we've all had a sleep on it. We're going to watch the Michael Voss press conference for round 22. We're going to unpack the press conference as we usually do. And then we're going to go through and find some receipts that we can look at and read. I've actually got one from Tom Morris, which I'm going to look forward to watching with you all together. So we'll see. Very impromptu. Hope you're all well. How you doing? Hello, Dione. Hello, Josh. This should be a good watch. Has anybody watched the press conference? Like I said, I watched the first 3 minutes and I thought, stop. Let's do this. G'day, Slubbo. Josh, I'm going to be going tomorrow. Fuck it. I'm going on the game. I am not growing a beard. I'm just letting the facial hair go a little bit. Yeah. Till we win a game. Maybe then I'll shave. Oh, Eric, it's my favorite. You know what my favorite thing about the last 24 hours or 12 hours, whatever it is, has been? The confirmation that he would be sacked because of the inside sources. Oh, it's just a good day for humanity, if you ask me. And the backtracking it's sensational. It's sensational to me. G'day, Fabio, Gavin, Chris. Also, Eric, it's very clear now it was never about trusting Graham Wright. It was just always about doing what everyone wanted. But we'll see. We'll unpack it. Hello, Lynn. Hello, Lou. Hello, Stephen. You haven't watched it yet? Awesome. G'day, Robbie, Wayne. Dion, hello, mate. Robert, hello. Skipper, you're going to be there. All right. It's after 12. I'm not shaving. All right, deal. I won't shave until we win a game. Sounds good. G'day, Josh. Gavin. It's amazing. Collingwood fan cams was good therapy last night. I haven't watched them. I was actually at the game last night. I watched it live. Oh, maybe we can unpack that as well. I couldn't. I thought I was watching. I went to the game last night thinking I'm going to watch two really good teams. Going to watch Collingwood respond, just watch good footy, and I literally went and watched Carlton play. Like Collingwood looked like Carlton last night. Sam, why aren't I at the 95 club function? Not. I don't know. I didn't even know it was on, to be honest. Didn't even know it was on. Even some of the most level-headed Blues losing it. Yeah. I trust in Wright as long as he does all the things I think need to be done. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. G'day, Foil Grim. Timmy, it's 10 p.m. in the US. You're going to bed. All right. Let's watch it. Let's watch it. Let me tell you now, they were leaving halfway through the third quarter. I watched their cheer squad. I watched them all leave halfway through the third quarter, one by one. It was a very rare thing to see. All right, it's time to watch the presser. Let's do it. We're going to watch it, and then we're going to unpack it. So if you want to take notes, take notes.
Well, pretty unique move. The club just clarifying you will be the coach next season. How did the whole week play out for you? How does that sort of show of confidence sit with you?
Well, it sort of feels a little bit hollow joy in some ways. Like, there's no contentment in, how we found ourselves here and probably how it's played out, or feeling like there's a contentment in being able to get that reassurance that you get to see out your contract. But there's also gratitude and a privilege to be able to continue to lead this football club and to be able to have that sense of direction, to be able to attack not just these last 3 weeks, but what next season looks like. And our year has been, all we've received is tremendous amount of support from our members and fans, through whether that's turning up at, open training sessions and the dialogue I've had with our supporters and the reinforcement about what they love that we're doing, and whether that's interaction with our supporters on the streets and meeting up with them. That interaction has, been hugely supportive, and I really appreciate that. So, I fixed that, eyes come now fairly fixed on what we need to be able to do next. And next thing we have in front of us is another game. And, but what it does enable us to be able to do is, at the right time, be able to sort of think about, well, how do we progress this thing and how do we improve from where we are? Because obviously, clearly we want to be better.
So how uncertain were you personally about your future next season? Because for a statement to be put out, it would suggest that there was at least some uncertainty around.
I think where the theatre is on the outside is very, very, very different to what's happening on the inside. And I reckon one of the key things as a coach is that when you come into this role is you've got to understand, being quite content that there's an end at some point in time. And when you're content enough with that, you tend to focus a lot over just the way you want to do it and what's important to you and what environment you want to be able to bring. And so while that discussion goes on the outside, that's people for them to talk about. It's not for me to talk about. It's to be able to get on with the job that we've got in front of us. And when we turned up here on Tuesday, it was about our game review and quite a normal day. It might surprise you. On Wednesday, we turned up and we trained. It was quite a normal day for us. So nothing sort of really changed. And that might come quite surprising to you, but that's certainly what I felt. It was business as usual. And that's what we carried on with.
Did you think it was a bit different to usual when you drove out of the club and you saw?
No, well, that was the only bit that was different. Yeah, so it's like the Truman Show there at one stage. Man has coffee, man and drives out of Icon Park, man turns up to training, man goes to board meeting. I mean, like, sort of, it's that was a bit strange. And to be honest, that probably did elevate it a little bit. But again, that theatre of what was sort of happening and what was being spoken about, and 5-hour board meetings and all these sorts of things, quite different to what it's felt like inside. And we've all sort of probably been waiting for, I guess, that absolute sense of direction, but at the same time now it's made. Now, there's an element of just continue to move forward.
When did you get that clarity, Vossy? Was it during catch up with Righty? Did you have clarity on what next year was going to look like before the club announced?
Sometime between that coffee and when we trained. So apparently, no, it's not. The detail of it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Turned up here. Well, it doesn't for me. Might for you, but it doesn't for me. So the days were normal for us. As I said, we had a game review the day before. We carried on as we normally do. Probably when it came to light was we drove out. And then we come in the next day and we continue on with our business. And throughout the course of that day is when you obviously I had a chat with Righty and obviously gave that confirmation around where the club's position was. And as I said, really privileged the fact that that support's been really strong right throughout. There's obviously been a process that's been driven to arrive at that particular decision. And from mine now, it's about sort of eyes in and eyes forward, and that's what we'll do.
Present to the pre-board meeting that your future was okay. Is that accurate to say?
No, there was never any assurances out throughout the whole process of it all. So until the decision's made, I think nothing's guaranteed. So I can't stress this enough, guys. Like, you're giving it actually much more credibility than what it needs to. I know it's a very important decision, but for us as business as usual, and we come in on Tuesday, got our job done. Wednesday, we did the same thing, and it was announced in front of the group, as you would have seen, and then we focus on our game.
So what will you do differently next year, and how did you convince the club that next year will be different?
Look, I think the biggest thing for us right now is to move forward. So, we've got the next 3 games to be able to finish out really strong, and then we start to work out what those pieces look like. It's not so much about the change for us; it's about where we progress, and we'll find where those points of progression are. But right now, what we've been pretty determined to do is, from the outset, is make sure that we finish off this season pretty strong. There is still plenty to get out of the season. It might not be the outcome that we're all after, but there's still things that you can take out of this season that you can bring into the following years and leverage off. And what I was particularly pleased with our group last week was the spirit that they come with. Our leaders led really strongly last week. They had a particularly strong game. I thought they really supported our younger players well. Our younger players brought some, real energy to the game, and we saw some of those strengths and weapons on show. And so we tend to get pretty tightly focused in on making sure we maximise that till the end of the year. And we've got 3 games to do that in a very, very short turnaround. We've got 3 games in whatever it is, 12, 13 days. So to think about anything other than that right now is about how we finish off this year and finish on what we want to be able to continue to improve on, progress on, get improvement from. What happens next after that, we'll take the time to consider.
Do you expect there to be change around you in the football department over the season?
Hasn't been a discussion to this point in time. So again, it's, we've all sort of been locked in on what we need to be able to do. So, again, there might be discussions around what other people are talking about in that space, but it's not our discussions. We anticipate that once when we have the right time and we get a little bit of breathing room, we'll start to think about that a bit more, but it's not now.
Do you think you need a bit more support around you?
I think we'll just move on to the game and then we'll sort of deal with the other stuff when it comes. I've answered it about 5 times, so try something else.
In pre-season and early stages of the season, you repeatedly said defense.
Hang on.
To correct.
We'll start to think about that a bit more.
I got to go back.
Not now.
But do you think you need a bit more support around you?
I think we'll just move on to the game and then we'll sort of deal with the other stuff when it comes. I've answered it about 5 times, so we'll try something else.
In pre-season and early stages of the season, you repeatedly said defense was the one thing that you needed to correct. And then you came back mid-season and said it was ball movement. Does your game plan, is it accurate to say or fair to say that the game plan needs to change to keep up with where other teams are going?
No, that's what you said. I didn't say that. We're going to continue to value our defense.
And needs to change to keep up with where other teams are going.
No, that's what you said. I didn't say that. We're going to continue to value our defense. Where our points of improvement need to be is clearly how we finish. The brand and style and will obviously be a continued discussion, and we'll look at those at the right time, and we're constantly reviewing that. But in terms of what we want to make sure we value, that doesn't shift too much. And we've been pretty strong on that for most of the year, but that doesn't mean we don't have points of improvement. And you highlighted obviously what one of those has been. But to say there's been a shift of focus, that would be incorrect.
I don't know, just in terms of where do you think the progression has to come from? Because you did say defense was the crux of what needed to be the strength of the game, which it was.
Yeah.
All movement to keep up with modern footy. So looking into 2026, what do you think has to change?
Yeah, mate, I think that defense is still going to be important for us. So if you look at any team that goes the journey, I reckon they're backing it on the fundamentals of the game. And that's what we'll continue to reinforce. Where our points of improvement will be is adding on those layers within our game style. So you become a bit more about a 3-phase team rather than necessarily 1 or 2. So we'll grow that out. We'll add capacity where we need to be able to do it. But again, once we sort of settle into to the end of the season, we start to put our hats on and how we reflect the year and how we want to review. We'll sort of dig into a bit more of that detail.
Has the decrease in stoppages and more open play and run on and stand rule and that, has it been a disadvantage to you?
No.
Primarily a contest strength.
No, I don't think so. No. How do you describe contest? What does that mean?
A lot of teams now, Collingwood's a transition team. They score heavily off turnover. Hawthorn, primarily value kicking, and it seems like your kicking efficiency and that sort of skill base isn't the biggest strength of your style.
Yeah, and I think that's the leverage that we need to be able to continue to improve. So. Contest and effort is still the primary part of what we need to bring every single week. So there's a level of detail that's needed in on that. And there's a level of contest that you need in the transition game. Because transition is about being able to win the ball back, and that's about contest. And then just how do we maximise those plays and those opportunities? That's obviously something that we've got to work on.
Should probably ask you one question about the game this week. How do you go about preparing for the Suns?
Yeah, well, they've been in great form, haven't they? They've talk about the transition part of the game. That's obviously something they've been strong on. Obviously the thing they build it off though is their stoppage play, and they've been really strong across that the whole year. And so that'll be an important battle around the middle of the ground. And then just how do we take our opportunities, because they've obviously been very efficient this year, and they've been able to get the supply. So that's going to be a challenge in itself. And, obviously we've got to bring an intensity to the game, but we've got to be able to play it for a long period of time. And that's what's demanded over the course of these teams, is that you've got to play 120 minutes of football. And, we talk about improvement. That's something we haven't been able to nail consistently enough, but it's required against teams like this.
Have you got a reason for that, Vossy? Like played out after half 6 times you've been leading.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a challenge. Certainly, the execution hasn't helped us. Taking our moments hasn't helped us. The game on the weekend was probably a little bit different to the others. I felt it was there, but just to quite take our moments, and obviously Fremantle up their game, and was able to get the swing back their way. So we'll keep reinforcing what we want to continue to play like. Execute it for a little bit longer, but. I can't fault the boys' effort they brought to last week's game. I mean, they threw absolutely everything at it, and the last 3 or 4 minutes we're right in the game, and they're obviously able to kick those last 3 or 4 goals with 4 minutes on the clock, which sort of got the margin out. But it's something that we're obviously going to have to continue to work on.
There was a report yesterday that Essendon had met with Jack Silvani. Where do things sit with Jack, and what are your confidence levels that he's going to be here next year?
Oh, and I'm very confident. I mean, he's in a position where he gets to explore what the next phase looks like for him. So it's what free agencies has done. For us, it's about sort of finishing off as a team. And, we want to finish off with. And I mentioned a couple of those things of what's going to be important to us. Some of those other things that are happening will play out in due course. But we're going to finish with spirit. Our leaders will lead really strong. Our young players get some more exposure, and that's what we're locked into.
TDK?
Well, I would say the same thing. So it'll work out where it needs to work out. I mean, we're what are we? 15 days from the finish line. I reckon we can wait.
Well, the fact that we're 15 days out and they're not recommitted yet, that's I think the Carlton fans' main concern. I would imagine.
Yeah, and look,
share those concerns?
no, I think that's for you guys to talk about right now. We've got a game to play. We've got 3 games to play, and that's what we're gonna finish off. So again. I can't stop what you guys talk about. I can't do that. What we can do is, look after what we can control, and that's the weekend. That's what we're going to do. Thanks, guys. That's it.
Obviously, TDK, what's the decision behind him playing more midfield minutes instead of pressing forward as it has been?
Well, he's been playing forward. Obviously, Hutto's been in really good form. So it's an opportunity to be able to get TDK back into the ruck. He's had a pretty solid year there. Been happy enough with how Pito's gone in the last month or so. But with Hutto playing some really good football, he gives us a real strong presence, forward of the ball, and obviously gets TDK back around the ruck. So looking forward to what he does over the next 3 weeks.
Okay. There's a bit there. Thoughts? I mean, I was reading through them as we were watching that. What do you think? Hello, Mozal. You think a few players are going to be on the chopping block? Yeah, I think you might be right, my friend. I think you might be right. There's a totally different energy about him watching that from how I watched it anyway. But interesting to see what you have to say. Hello, mate. You think if people think keeping a coach is the easy way out, you're brain dead after seeing what the club has done in the last 10 years. Newman and Jagger will definitely be welcome additions to this squad. Guys that give conditional effort will be gone. Watch and see. That's the part I think I'm most excited for. Yeah. Who was dragging their feet all year long, thinking that the coach would go maybe, because the coach always goes. Robert, you don't want to see contest. You want to see dominance. Amen. Only Carlton. Is there any players that I'd prefer to leave? The ones that are not bought in, they're the ones like straight away go. I think the Jack Silvani conversation is so interesting. I turned a little bit after I listened to Doc's speech on Triple M about get what you can. You're 28. It's your last chance at a contract. That just sort of tells me a bit of the mentality. And it's not wrong. Get what you can. You're only in football for a short amount of time. I think that eliminates I think me, I don't know, I'm not telling everyone else what to do, but I got to stop thinking about the fabric of the club and, Silvani and the name, because we just keep pandering to these players. All of a sudden he's worth a 4-year deal because of the fabric. So yeah. Also, whoever's leaking information to Mitch Cleary, gone. I just don't know who it is. John, you can't wait to see who leaves. It's going to be a very interesting off season. It's going to be unbelievable. I just can't believe how quickly the tune has gone from Graham Wright. He's going to make a call. He knows football. He's a football man, and he's had 12 months. And all of a sudden, it's like, nah, fuck it. Nah, he made the wrong call. I just find that amazing. Eric Dees. So we're going down the path of rebuilding without saying we're rebuilding when we were told top 4 finish this year. Yeah. Tom, I'm with you here. They had a chance. Some of these journalists, they sort of skirted around it. It's tough. Hyde, I'm with you here. I think a lot of us were shocked. I think the other part that I was shocked with, which we didn't speak about, a lot of people have been talking about playing Wilson and playing O'Keefe. We didn't really talk about it last night because I know a lot of the conversation was around the board's decision and Voss and the like. But the fact that Wilson and O'Keefe are playing, like I'm excited for that. Like that's a lot of us have been asking to see those two in particular. Lucas is the other one, and Ben. How many more games has Ben got? Surely this is the last week of the suspension. Eric, you love strong Vossi. Yeah, he had a totally different confidence about him. Says, we've got to drop the game plan. They need to have multiple game plans and adapt to every situation. Yeah, so that quote there, I had written that down. So he was, the things that stood out to me, how strong he was talking about the theatre on the outside is different to what happens on the inside. So, we get all caught up in speculation. We just unpack and we discuss and we're live streaming hours every week. So we do too. But it's not as frantic on the inside. I thought his quotes around the man has coffee, man goes to board meeting. I thought that was very interesting because we were all talking about that. And then when they were asking him about what he would do differently, he was focusing a bit more on progression as opposed to change. So we'll see. Dione, you thought he looked back in control? You think the senior core are breaking up? I love how journalists gave an example of how good Collingwood are in transition. Really? Yeah. He gave subtle hints that if you are not in 100%, we will move on without you. Gavin, you thought he was going in with a tough mindset. He spoke with some false confidence. Maybe. Paul, Hawthorn has leg speed. Amon, Impey, Weddle. Then they have solid defenders. Hardwick, Sicily, Scrimshaw. And more. We have no speed and reject. Yeah, well, that's going to have to be a focus in the off season. I mean, from what I watched last night, the way Hawthorn spread, but more like the guy down the field on the turnover, the speed in which that decision was made to spread and to create that space and get into that space, plus the kicking, they're impressive. Yeah, I did not expect to see what I saw last night. I thought it would be a really close game. I thought Collingwood would win. Brody, I'd love for him to say we want players who want to be here, but let's be honest. Until they say they are gone, they have to play it safe, i.e. you can't drop TDK if you want him to stay. If Graham Thanos Wright says Voss isn't the problem, does that mean the blame solely falls on the players? Well, I think we'll have to wait, which is what we struggle to do. This is just one of many decisions I think that are going to be made. So I think once we get through this, get through the games, then we find out which assistants are going to be there. Head of football, is he going to be there? If not, who's that going to be? Once we find out who's going to be a part of the department, once we find out which players are staying and going, like we're talking October, we're gonna know what Thanos says and wants and what the problems were. Obviously, we have running commentary with each decision, but I don't think the Voss staying next year is the one decision as to what's the problem and who's the problem. I think we have to wait and see who's staying and who's going from a department point of view, from a board point of view, and from a playing group point of view. Eric, we just need to win. I don't care who leaves. You know, I had a coffee this morning with a friend of mine, big Carlton man, and he said something to me. He's a bit older than me, and his observations are that the younger generation, you know, myself included, like we've latched ourselves onto these players. So, you know, the 2015 draft, for example, and you know, the Spine and Kerno and Mackay and Wiedering and Cripps, and, you know, they have to be the premiership team. And he's like, you get to a certain point in life, apparently, where you just don't give a shit who the premiership players are. You just want the premiership players. I'm kind of there, maybe because I've grown up out of that a little bit. I'm 34 now, so like they're just young athletes to me. They're not icons. I think when you're younger, you start individualizing and sort of idolizing the individuals, and then as you get older, you love the club more than anything else. Nicholas, this is the other part. They do love the game. As soon as it becomes a full-time job for a short period of time, they have to consider things outside of love and passion. I agree completely. Just got to find the ones that want to be there. You know what? If anybody wants to join, I'll put the link in one time so you can share your thoughts, and then we can finish up. Eric, I'm with you. Enough getting attached to players. I'm sure the leak will be leaving. Yeah, well, the leak might be senior people in the department as well. Isn't Pito sore? I don't know. Said omitted. It said omitted. Pete, Wright is just like everyone else now. Made a business decision on a football call, lost trust in Wright. So was it ever, Pete? I'm curious. So was it ever about what you know, trusting Graham Wright as the guy that knows football departments, or was it just what you wanted? Because this is contradictory to what you've been saying previously. Interesting. Josh. You there?
Oh, shit. Hang on. Yeah, I'm here. Hang on just one sec. I'll just turn off my laptop. That's probably causing the issue. Yeah, got you, mate. How you going?
Good. Thoughts?
Like the presser. It was, he came out very fiery, which is good. I think, the spotlight's going to definitely be on the players now. And I don't know, the whole thing's got like a bit of a 2021 sort of off-season vibe to it, but instead of it being on the coaches and all that, this time it's actually on the players and head of football, which I think is great. Like, finally, there's a bit of accountability outside of, just blaming everything on the head coach. I do think Voss has the game plan. It's got its flaws, but those players are fucking lazy. They are so lazy. All you have to do is watch a Carlton game. They are so lazy. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, there's no doubt he has to change as a coach as well and adapt.
Absolutely.
But I think he can do that with the right people guiding him. As in, I say that, and there's an argument out there like, oh, if he needs guidance, then why is he in the job? But the reality is, think about who's around him at the moment who he can talk to about football that's just so dialed in and switched on that he can, take advice from. I don't know if Brad Lloyd's that person to talk about the philosophy of football. I don't know if Diesel's that person at the moment.
Diesel doesn't remember his name. With all respect to Diesel. But,
yeah, of course. Yeah. It's always respect. It's always respect to Diesel, and he's a champion. But so when I picture Vossi and Graham Wright having conversations about the game and where's it going and the game style and philosophy on football, I just picture a serious operator in Graham Wright who knows the game.
Yeah. Well, can we say that we've really had anyone at the club in the last 10 years like Graham Wright?
Neil Craig.
I actually have never heard that name.
Neil Craig was with us when Bolton was there, and then
okay.
can't remember why he left, but he left.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think around? There's reports about Bartel. There's reports about Ken Hinckley. These type of minds. Do you think these type of football minds can help, like as in be part of a team?
I would like to see Jimmy Bartel there in some capacity, probably head of
Mm,
football. I
mm.
think he had the success and he's done well at GWS, and he said the opportunity with Graham Wright excites him. So you know what you're getting in terms of he'd be committed to the job and all that. So
Yeah.
I think I'd like to see Jimmy. I don't know about Ken. You know, he's just been a head coach for 8 years, whatever, longer than 8 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Longer, yeah. I don't know about Ken. Maybe definitely not in a coaching role. I wouldn't want him in a coaching role because he's been coaching for 10, 11 years, and I don't think. I mean, Port Adelaide have been a bit hot and cold. I mean, what do you think about Ken?
I think Ken would be a great asset to a football department, not as a senior
Yeah.
coach. I mean, Voss is the senior coach, but as someone who's been around football a long time, you know that saying, "We're to beef up the department." I
Yeah.
think he could be one of a couple of people who could help in that regard.
Yeah, definitely, probably more of a football department role.
He also takes no shit and talks no shit. He says it straight.
Well, yeah, he talked a lot of shit to Hawthorn last year too, which you know what?
No,
We
but
don't really have that as well.
what I mean is the way he does his presses and things like that. He just you know.
No, but that's what I like. I knew what you mean, but what I was also saying was like I liked how he did dish it out to Hawthorn last year. Like we don't really have anyone who just doesn't take shit at our football club. I mean, I wish our players sort of had that, especially when it comes to playing at, Collingwood and all that. But yeah, I mean, what about assistant coaches, mate?
What about
Do you
him?
think? Well, what would you do?
I'll let Graham Wright. I trust in him to do what's best.
Yeah.
I trust the guy that's been looking over the club for 12 months, seeing the complete dysfunction that this year has been happen in front of him. He's seen all the bullshit, whether it's playing group, like all of it, all the behaviors when pressure mounts, who can handle it, who speaks well, who doesn't, who can be trusted, who can't. Like I trust the guy that's seeing all of that on the inside with 12 months of evidence in front of him to make a better decision than me.
Well, it's also interesting the fact that, like, the whole process, he was interviewing players and all that too. So I wonder when he was interviewing players and all that, they were saying maybe certain things or how they want to play. And then they go out in the field and they're dishing up absolute shit. I'd love to know what would be going through his mind and all that, because the decision has ultimately led to keeping Voss. So that to me is also interesting. How many players do you reckon we're going to let go of, mate? Just out of your curiosity.
31.
Fucking hell.
30, 31, 30, 32.
31. All of them. All of them. No, I think, I must say, one player who, I'll just say because I feel sort of bad for him, Blake Acres, I don't know what you think of him, but I think he's just been absolutely cooked by injury. He shouldn't be playing in the seniors, but our fan base has been fucking brutal on him, man. Like, I think he just needs a good preseason and he'll be all right.
Maybe. I think there's a case to make that Charlie would be in the exact same boat. He had three surgeries in the off season. He had the ankle reconstruction and a couple of knee cleanouts. I think there's an argument to be made that he will be better for the run with the full preseason. There's also the discussion around, do you want to be here? Do you not? Lifestyle, like what's that about? Like, is that real? Is it not real? But there's quite a few of them that a full preseason would help.
Yeah.
I personally think we could replace Blake pretty quickly.
Yeah. Who would you bring in?
With the younger player, whether it's a draftee, whether it's I'm not a massive fan.
Okay, no, fair enough.
Yeah. But again, I think a lot of us need to remember we don't know what is happening inside. Yeah. There's a whole batch of information that's happening on the inside that we're missing.
Yeah. Well, you know what? One thing I would like to know, because of the fact that they are keeping Voss, what are the KPIs for next year? That's what I would like to know.
Yeah. What do you
I
think?
think. Fuck, mate. It's hard to say. Like, what did I think? Well, I've been a bit flip flop on whether or not we can, like, if we've got parts of the list to make finals next year or not. It's hard to say because once again, I think if my thinking around it is if Graham Wright has decided to keep Voss, then maybe we are a lot closer than what I initially thought we were.
Wait, so what's your KPI?
Well, they got to make top 8 next year.
Right.
At least top 8. I would anything more than that, I'd be pretty happy with. But yeah, I mean, the fact that this season we had Brian Cook come out and say top 4, we've ultimately failed at that. I think next year they have to at least make the 8. I know there's going to be departures and new players coming in, so it might take a bit of time for the list to synergize and all that. But they got to make finals.
Fair.
Yeah.
Want to watch a video with me?
Yeah, let's do it.
I just want to watch a nice little clip. You and I. Here we go. Tommy Morris.
This move because they wanted to get a first mover advantage against Carlton if Carlton knocks Vossi off. The other thing is, at some stage, Tassie are going to have to name one of these guys. If they want Nathan Buckley, they're going to have to actually hire him so that he doesn't.
It's had a twofold benefit. One is the fact that despite the club's denials publicly, that they can get ahead of the curve and go and find the coach they want without any other club swooping on that. The second is that as soon as they make the call, they can do what's right by Simon Goodwin and tell him immediately so that he doesn't go through the next 3 weeks not knowing what's going on next year.
Okay. So do you believe Carlton will make a change in the year?
I think Michael Voss is in some trouble. I can't confirm that, but I think he's in some trouble. I think Michael Voss is in some trouble. I think Michael Voss is in some trouble. I think Michael Voss is in some trouble. I can't confirm that, but I think Michael Voss is in some trouble. I can't confirm.
Oh, what a geezer. I was fucking waiting for it. I was waiting for that.
It's got to have some fun with it.
Mate, he's a fucking banana. How many fake reports has he come up with?
Yeah.
What a fucking geezer.
No, that was his opinion. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, no. From what I've heard, inside sources can't confirm it.
Yeah.
Come on, mate. Seriously. Talking
I
about
just
shit
thought
on
it
a
was
fucking
funny.
garbage truck.
No,
I
just thought it was funny. I thought it was very funny.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway, mate.
Before I go, because you asked me, I want to ask you, what are your KPIs for next year?
I kind of think we're in a bit. See, okay, I thought we were like rebuilding, and I actually thought they would sack Voss, and I thought a new coach, new philosophy. Here we go, the pressure release. Go on, start again. New, 5-year plan, new coach. I thought they would really sack him. I'll be dead honest. So if he's still around, I think I'm with you. Yeah, it's got to be finals. They obviously still believe they can get something out of the list. In my view, I think this move says that they still believe in this skeleton of the list and adding certain players to it, coaches to it, whatever, and they can rise again. But I mean, mate, you got to play finals football. Geelong say it every year.
There in September. Yeah.
Geelong's philosophy is the same every year. You get to finals.
Yeah. If you're in playing in September, you're there with a chance. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
100%. All right.
So,
it was good to hear your opinion on that.
Yeah, man. I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Right,
can't believe I'm going to go.
I can.
See you. Oh, of course you can.
See you, mate.
Have a good one, mate.
You too. Bye. Slubbo, hey, mate. Imagine Ken and Voss turning up the heat on this group. Let's see who can handle it. Get rid of the entitled fragile weakness. Yeah, let's bring some seniority to this thing. Kobe, hey, mate.
G'day, how are you?
Good. What have you got for me? What's on your mind?
Well, when I think about what goes through my head when this sort of information happens, I think of that quote when Damien Hardwick got to Gold Coast, and I reckon that we do have 80% of a premiership team. It's just that last 20%.
Okay.
I reckon because there is some bits missing of our game, isn't it? There's the small forward. I still think needs a lot of work, and parts of our midfield as well. But coming from that presser, that just made me laugh so much. Journalism is at an all-time low, in my opinion. What do you reckon?
I think it's crap.
I think it's absolutely shocking right now. And that Ginnivan interview last week, I reckon, just absolutely proved that. I don't know what she was dribbling on the telly the other night.
I'm not a fan of that at all. That's just dehumanizing them.
Yeah. But what are you expecting from tomorrow, Terry? That's what I want to know.
Oh, I mean, I'm not expecting a win. Spirit and fight it out. Pride, spirit, fight, and pride. Gold Coast are a better team, much better team than Carlton, I think, at the moment. So, and they can still make top 4.
Yeah.
So, like, they've got that lingering above them, especially now that Collingwood lost last night. It sort of opens up the door for them. So, spirit, pride, togetherness. I'm curious to see if, like, the pressure release on Vossi filters through to the playing group a little bit.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, yeah, sort of the same thing. I'm not going in expecting a win. Like,
Okay.
Obviously, it's always nice to win. That's why we go to the football, to try and watch our team win. But yeah, just the same thing. I want to see them play with I want to see some fun football tomorrow, basically.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. And obviously it'll be good I think it was halftime they're doing it to farewell Doc as well. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty keen to move on from and just the old players and move on to like the new players. To be honest, I think we've milked that a lot. Yeah. Personally.
Yeah. I just think that's the last. Obviously, we've got our closure, but I just think that's a last nice little thing.
Yep. It'll be nice. Yeah, do a little wave and a clap.
Yeah.
Doc's been great. Doc's been fantastic, but like, club comes first.
Yeah.
Just like an individual contract when you're 28 comes first, club comes first from my point of view.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Anyway, Kobe, thanks for calling in, mate.
No worries.
See ya.
Enjoy tomorrow.
I will. Eric.
Tez.
Is this Eric Tedelato?
It is.
Oh, mate, what's going on?
Not much. How good was last night, man? Holy shit. On Twitter. Oh, my God.
You mean the game?
Just everyone. No, I mean, like, just the Blues fans losing it.
So I'll be honest. I left the team show and I went straight to the MCG. So I was out of.
You missed it.
I was out of social media world, Twitter world, reaction world, and I've got to say it was good for the mental health.
Yeah, I tell you what, I just can't believe they made the decision they did. It's just like,
yeah,
we've been on this journey for what, 6 years now, maybe a little bit longer. And every time the fans, they know what they're talking about, they call up radio, and then the coach gets sacked, and then we're back to where we were. Like, I don't know. Like, and do you know who this source is that everyone keeps saying they have a source? Like, because he's wrong every time.
I don't know, man. It's just this whole. It's gonna happen. It is what it is, mate. It happens because people love the Carlton Football Club. They want to know what's going on. So it's not illegal. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just funny. I just find it funny the authority in which people talk.
Yeah.
With the authority and then when it is sometimes proven wrong or right, the lack of hand up. Okay, got it wrong. It's just amazing. I'm not surprised that the Graham Wright thing has turned into what it has.
It's devolved already. Yeah, it hasn't even started, and it's devolved.
Oh, mate, he's a shill now.
Yeah,
it's amazing to me.
But yeah, I don't know how long I've been saying this for, but this team has massive just mental scars that they need to get over, and then we'll be good. Because like we know they have the ability when the vibes were good and everything was going well. We're almost in a grand final, everything was fine. As soon as the pressure comes, they fall apart, and I don't know what that takes to fix, but
yeah,
maybe we got to get a few guys out that we don't want to lose, and we don't know what their mental state is personally, but maybe they got to move on, just for the team's morale and what's going on. And
what do you think it says? Do you think? I mean, okay, so my view is the decision yesterday says to me that Graham Wright believes that there is a bigger problem than the coach to fix. That's my read on it. That's my best guess. No source, just a guess. What do you think?
I think that's the only conclusion you can make, really, because it's not a money thing. Like, they can pay him out, and apparently he's Wright's a so-called expert that everyone's been saying for 12 months that he's going to fix the place. So, it's like, if it's not the coach, and do you think, like, I know we say get rid of the players who don't want to be there, but like, who are those players in mind? Because I think they want to be there. I just think they just can't handle the pressure of the club.
Or maybe they just want things on their terms because they've always had it on their terms.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know.
And maybe there's a little bit of what can I get from the Carlton Football Club as opposed to what can I give to.
Do you think that original group that made that so-called pact has like entitlement thing going on where they think they're not going to they deserve certain things and they're a clique by themselves and the rest aren't really a part of it? Or do you think it's hard to know?
It's hard to know. Like, again, it's a lot of it is guessing. But I mean, the whole thing about propping the players up, that's also done by us. I'm definitely guilty of that.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I had this coffee with a friend this morning, and he was telling me, you guys just like prop up these players, and I've definitely done that. I just thought, we drafted the spine of what would one day be the premiership team, and it made sense. Charlie, Jacob, Crip, like it made sense to me.
I think it's because we've grown up with them. Like, we started this when we were 20, and then they get drafted and we get attached to them and we see them grow as, players and people, and we don't want to lose them. But, we need to win. Like, you can't be attached if you want to win.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they take advantage of. They know they're loved and they know they can't do anything wrong. So then, who goes? Not them. The coach goes, or the administration or whatever. Yeah. I just think this year's started poorly with, Luke Sayers and then Elijah. And then, I just think things were cooked behind the scenes and it unraveled quickly.
This year is like Murphy's Law. Like everything that could go wrong, touch wood, I don't want to talk too soon, but everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong.
And now Farrell with his knee, just keeps on continuing. But I think today's, for me, last night was like the signal that like the club has gained its personality back after the 20 years of just shame from the scandal, because all they do is just listen to the media, try and placate the media, try and get, goodwill from the people. And if you look at every other club, they do what is in the best interest of the club, not to gain good faith with people. Yeah. So I think this decision really establishes Carlton as Carlton, not like, we're sorry for what we did. We're good boys. We don't want to do it anymore kind of situation.
Please be nice.
Yeah. Because we've been that club for a long time, especially in the modern era. Like, please, we don't want to be hated. Don't hurt us. I feel like Essendon and Essendon in the same boat, but they need to get over their own things as well. But I think it's kind of a similar thing.
Yeah, but like even all of this, right? Like Bugs Bell said it perfectly, or someone said it here. Nothing's guaranteed.
Of course,
they've basically just backed him in for next year, and there's a chance that it works out next year, and they extend him. I'm more curious around that. You're going to go into next year. If you fall below 50% win rate, the heat comes from all angles. So I'm thinking if you really back him, you extend him. But I also do think he does need to. He does need to. Now that they've backed him in, you got to see if the changes that you make around him are gonna, show a turnaround. And if they do, great, extend him. If they don't, well, he's out of contract.
You tell me if I'm crazy or not, right? In 2023, you remember that the team spread well and was a good transition team, and that we won games of football, and gaslit into believing we never had a transition, and we would, I remember a period of 4 weeks, like Daniel Hoyne was saying we were top 3 in transition at one point in 2023. Like, am I misremembering, or was that a thing that we were good at? Like,
even I mean, a lot gets talked about 2023 and the run, but very little gets spoken about that actually continued into 2024. And I still remember, like, I think the Geelong, not just the Geelong game, but a lot of those wins in 2023 and 2024, it was the ball movement was different.
Good.
It was confident. It was, zigzaggy. It was,
our efficiency was decent. It wasn't amazing, but it was good.
Yeah. So it wasn't just a 10-week period. It was also continuing into the following year. And
we've done it before. Like, this group has done it before. It's not a lot of like different things, and like we had it. We had that game. I don't know where it went, but we had it. It's not like we never had it. So hopefully they can refine it again with different players or whatever. But
yeah,
we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yep, mate. It's conspiracy. Yeah, equality's in the house. Conspiracy theories. It's great. I'm just along for the ride. I'm just along for it all. Whatever. I'm actually excited.
It's just the arrogance and the ego that makes me laugh every time things like this happen. Like, like, give me a break, mate. Like, you're on Twitter talking about what you think, and it's all right.
Yeah.
But
what do you think happens tomorrow?
It's hard to know. With so many players out, so many kids. I think we'll put up a good 3 quarters and then just run out of steam in the 4th again. But
yeah, I think they're too good.
Yeah.
Fair. You going?
I haven't been all year, man.
Fair.
And you know what the reason is? It's not because we're bad. It's because last time I went, a bloke kept on yelling out, "Where's Motlop?" And he was injured. And I finally turned around and told him, "Mate, he's injured." And then I'm like, I've been to other fans. Like, our fans are the worst at the football. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know if you've been to other games, but Jesus Christ, our fans are negative from before the ball bounces.
You get a couple like that, yeah. I mean, on the one hand, yes. On the other hand, like, I don't blame people for being really fed up.
This is when we were good as well. In 23, we were a good team.
Yeah.
But yeah,
there was a bit of that. I don't know. Just getting through the next 3 and then excited for what changes are going to be announced.
I might go to that Essendon game at the end just to see us beat Essendon twice.
On a Thursday night?
Yeah, I might go. Just, I know Collingwood's the thing, but Essendon, I love beating Essendon. It's more important to me than Collingwood.
Fair. I find it interesting that the club really ram home that they're the arch rival, but not Collingwood. I find that really interesting.
I think it's we got a chance. We got a chance with them. That's probably why.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah.
All right.
All right, man.
I'll catch you around.
I'll speak to you soon, dude. Bye. All right. Hey, Pommy. I see you. Yes, can confirm I am miserable at the footy. You know how else I realized it? When I went last night and I was giddy to go to the football. JJ, you want the link? Anybody else want the link? Please join. Click that link. Come in. This is the smartest and most engaged fan base, just suffering from 25 years of BTSD. Paul, do I remember Mackay and Kono haven't looked that in sync since 2022 form round. I don't understand the question. Sorry. Jad. Oh.
Yo.
How you feeling, mate? You okay? Nice hair.
Give me 1 sec, bro, because I think I've got the... Okay, sweet. Can you hear an echo? Because I can't now. It's good.
No, you're good.
Yeah. Shit, I'm going through it. Shit, man, I'm really going through it. I am so conflicted and torn in every direction right now. Oh, wow. As you could probably tell by the messages I sent you.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
That's fine. But so in your mind, right, have you reflected on, did you really trust Wright, or did you think he would definitely sack Voss, therefore you trusted Wright?
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, these are the questions I'm asking myself, a bit of self-reflection. It's like, because now I don't know where to plant my flag, right? So I think I just have to, if I'm going to I'll just fall on my sword. Like, I'm going to have to trust what Wright said, or what he thinks. Like, he knows more than me. So, like, who am I really to doubt him? But it's just, as a non-Voss believer for years, it's so hard to sell myself that he can turn it around. I just can't absolve him of any blame. Like, oh, it's his assistants. Oh, it's this, it's that, it's the bliss boss, it's the manager. Like, didn't he pick the assistants? You know, wasn't it a collaborative effort?
Did he pick Hansen and Hamill and these ones?
Well, the reason why I say that is because when they were putting together his team, the club was very open in saying, we are going to, give Voss everything he needs. So I only assume he had a say. I don't imagine a world where he didn't have a say at all. So obviously Wright has seen something in him that, he's worthy of a second chance. And that's okay. The decision's made, fine. But I've just been thinking while I've been watching the stream about a Vossi wish list, what I want to see different from him going forward, okay?
This isn't
just dump out your flow of consciousness.
Amazing comment.
Hey, all right.
Self-reflection is overrated. Just dump your flow of conscious opinions into chat at maximum words per minute. Brilliant. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, so just a wish list, okay? I don't want Vossi walking around the club in this sort of mindset, right? Saying, okay, I survived, it's everyone else's fault, yada, yada, yada. I get to continue doing what I've been doing. I want him to be sweating, knowing how lucky he is to survive, because this is Carlton. We've never done this before, really. We've never backed someone in after 4 years, and particularly 3 of those years being abject failures. We've never done that. So I just hope he is really, really clear how lucky he is, and I just hope that brings about some changes in how he operates. Number 1, the press conferences. Please, start being honest. Maybe today was a sign of a change. I don't know. I hope so. Just cut the fluff. The fans aren't stupid. Be honest. I actually watched Craig McRae's presser last night, and I thought it was bloody excellent. It was excellent.
Did you notice the start? The first thing he said, I want to apologize to our Collingwood members or the faithful, whatever he said. Like, off the bat, straight away.
And then And then he also said, Steele Sidebottom deserves better than that. Where was our apology to Doc? You know what I mean? These are the things that just drive me insane. Where was the apology to Doc? I just would cut the fluff. Just start being honest, Vossi. That's number 1. Number 2, throw your relationship with Craig McRae in the bloody bin. I don't want to hear next year he's my mate. We're going to catch up for dinner. I sent him a text. Piss off. No more. No more. Kill or be killed. Yeah. No, it's very hard for me, mate. It's so hard. I've got no choice but to just suck it up. Why didn't Graham Wright just do what I wanted? Just me.
I admire you for being honest about that. Can I ask you this? Who do you trust less? Coach or players?
Who do I trust less? I honestly trust the coach less.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. But I don't know, like what so you suggesting that there's really, player mutiny in this team? Yeah.
I don't buy that this group have what it takes collectively, mentally, when they're going. We're not even in prelims. That's going to be tough for them too. Like that's another mountain you got to climb, right? Finals football, prelims. We haven't even gotten this group to there consistently. We've obviously made a prelim.
So now in my state of copium, I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch those games from 23. Because Wright surely in the last year has sat there and looked at some of those games. So there's something there, right? It can't just be, the rest of the comp caught up and that's irrelevant now. You can't do that anymore. Like, there's got to be something, mate. I don't know. I think as a member and I'm just got to find something to cling on to. But yeah, I really don't want Voss absolved of responsibility. Like he's got to,
I don't think he would be. He's also out of contract next year. So if it's not working, whatever they're going to put around him next year, they give him an opportunity, then he'll go.
And one question to you, and sorry, and the people watching, if we get to round 12 next year and they decide, nah, he's not the man, who leaves with him? Does Wright get another chance? Does the board stay again? And then we just do this merry-go-round of CEOs where maybe Paddy Kinnesley will be the next CEO. She'll get her turn. And then the guy under her will get his turn. Like, who goes if this blows up? Because to me, all goodwill has been erased. Like, if you're backing him in now after 4 years of these sort of results, you've surely, like, if you're not renewing him into 27, who's going with him?
Well, I still think there should be changes to the board this year, regardless of backing in the coach.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, so there's that. I mean, the other thing as well, we've only seen one decision here. We haven't seen the rest of the department changes, and we haven't seen the playing list changes. So we're kind of like, we're talking about one decision of 11 of them or whatever they're going to make.
Yeah.
And
another thing, does it scare you that perhaps, I haven't heard this anywhere, maybe I've seen some comments, but it's just a theory, obviously, that this decision is financially affected, like related to financial decision, as in paying him out is just too heavy?
A payout?
Do you think it could be related to the financial aspect of paying out all these contracts all at once? Because if it is, that's bloody scares me, because then again, we're just blowing up a whole year again. Like, it's a waste.
I would guess not. I mean, how much more money does this club need to make? Like, I think we've got enough. I don't know, reserves. I think we've got enough coming from wherever it needs to come from. I'm not worried about the finances of the club. I think we're thriving as a club.
No, sorry, bro. I meant more like paying out Voss's contract. But let's say he's owed $1 million.
Oh.
Maybe they didn't want to pay it out now while they also have to pay out the rest of the people they're sacking. So maybe it's a decision where, look, we keep Voss, give him next year, it'll soften the financial payouts. I don't know. I just really hope that's not it. Because, with these things, like even when he was hired, we did, and then the report came out that actually he wasn't recommended by the panel. So I just, that sort of shit always happens with our club. It's always, no matter what they put out on face value is never the truth. That's where my trust is at the moment. I don't believe a word that comes out of there. I don't want to hear 6 months from now, Graham Wright actually didn't recommend this. Actually, this is what happened, really. They didn't want to pay his contract. You see the way I'm talking about that? Like, I feel like we're the only supporter base who has to worry about this sort of shit because they're so dishonest.
Well, this is just a lack of trust. And fair enough.
Yeah.
It has to be earned.
Broken.
It is broken. And this is why we go down rabbit holes. And this is why we go down like the different branches that emerge of theories. and this is why. I think this is actually less about what you're asking and more about a lack of trust. And I also have it.
See, it's because I hate asking these questions. I hate feeling this way. And it is, you're right, because I can't trust a word they say. I can't trust them. So anyway, back to the coach. I don't know. Well done. I guess there's obviously something with him, yeah? Maybe he's just got unlimited aura. He's able to convince people.
He doesn't have nothing. He
Yeah,
must have.
yeah.
They must see something, and they must see an opportunity with him to get it right.
He can't be incompetent, can he, Tez? Like, he can't be. He can't be completely incompetent in that role. There's just no chance. It can't be that.
Not totally incompetent. Every coach would have their shortfalls, though. And also, there's the other thing as well, practically speaking. There's five names that have come up for Carlton this year. So you've got like the Longmire, the Simpson, I think Skipworth's name got thrown out. Graham Wright knows Skipworth better than anyone at Carlton would, because he worked with him at the club and knows his progression. Who was the other one? Hickmont. I don't know much about him. Graham Wright might, because of the Hawthorn connection potentially. I don't know if they overlapped. Who was the other one? Did I say Simpson? Yeah. Longmire, Simpson, Hickmont, Skipworth. I feel like I'm missing another key name here.
I don't know.
Whatever. So
sure.
maybe this crop isn't really giving them that much confidence that they can guarantee to be better than what Voss is now. But maybe there'll be another crop next year. Maybe Skipworth with one more year will show something else. I don't know.
That's why I'm so keen to see who he appoints around him. Because, he might have someone his eye on. You can make him the assistant for now, and in 12 months, look, we've got the replacement already. I don't know.
Do you know what the big one's going to be?
What?
If they extend Brad Lloyd. Aha.
I sent you the text. The Carlton Football Club is pleased to announce that Brad Lloyd will be contracted for a further 48 years. We think Brad Lloyd's commitment and skill set in times of leadership.
That's the one that's going to blow it all up. Oh, man. It'll be so funny.
It can't happen. It can't happen.
It can. It can.
Graham, what are you doing? Fuck. Shit.
And then he pulls out a statement saying, all you motherfuckers in the fan base, just shut the fuck up. This is what we're doing. You either like it or you leave.
Yeah, well, probably been said to a few players, hey?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a little bit of a whip going through the playing group, metaphorically speaking, because you can't.
You remember Nathan Buckley's comment when he did I think it was on the couch or something, where he said he thinks we've got a lot of entitled players. Maybe that's true. Maybe he's heard things,
When I listen to him talk, I reckon he watches Charlie Curnow a lot. He makes subtle digs at Charlie's game and Charlie's attitude without going fully all in my view.
Yeah, I haven't listened to him closely when he commentates, to be honest. But I really like Bucks. I love when he speaks. I tend to listen, especially on the footy shows and stuff like that. But maybe Charlie reminds him a bit of the Rat Pack. He hated that Rat Pack. He couldn't get them out of Collingwood fast enough. So maybe he sees similarities.
He did predict that we would miss the finals.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. On a positive note, before I leave you, I've got to go to work, but Vossi's, the type of coach he has worked before. So apparently Matthew Nicks is very similar to Voss. He's not the tactician. It's not his strong suit. He's more of the manager, the leader, the voice. I saw a comment, I think, to Paolo's tweet saying Jurgen Klopp's the same. Not a tactical genius. It's not his strength, but he's got other areas. So maybe it is about the team around you. And no coach wins a flag on their own. So probably it is about the actual team. Maybe that's what Wright sees. Maybe he just needs elite operators around him But then the question gnaws at me: why didn't you do this earlier? Why do we have to wait till now? That's what I just can't get on board with this whole thing. Can't absolve him of responsibility and say it's everyone else's fault around him. Yeah, so wait and see, eh?
Fingers crossed, my friend.
All right. Catch you later, bro.
See you, bro. Roshan?
G'day, Terry. How you going?
Good, mate. How are you?
Good. Long-time listener for many years. First-time caller.
First-time caller. Mate, I reckon we have record first-time callers lately. It's great to see.
Good. Hey, I thought I'd just bring up an obvious point. So it's clear that everyone in the leadership group is backing Voss. So it must be the playing group. So who do you think are the players that need to go? Because no one can answer that question directly.
Yeah, because no one knows. And I don't know.
Yeah, from what I guess from as a fan, I'll give you my opinion. I'm no expert, but you look at players like McGovern, right? He's had 1 or 2 good games in a row, 10 years in the system. I don't think he's been top 10 in the BNF ever. On good money, always injured. There's one. I think Zach Williams, bar the last 2 months, has been poor, especially with how senior he is, how much money he's getting. But months he has been exceptional, I must say. Yeah, and obviously the whipping boys in Fantasia, even Durden, but he's got a year on his contract. There's lots of players that wouldn't get a game at another club. That's the thing. So if we're not changing the senior coach and they're going to make some changes around him, we have to have a chat about the playing group from our non-expert view. What do you think, Terry?
Yeah, I think they'll come under the spotlight. I think the department, the board, and the players are the next answers that are going to come.
Yeah, it'll be intriguing. Because you look at the list, and most clubs would die to have a spine like ours. A good ruckman, pretty. I think the other issue we've got is our midfield. They're all one pace, all very similar, and you can get the ball out, but by hand. But if you kick it by foot, it's all over. That's the other thing. I'm thinking even like Akers, for example, on the wing. Good servant, but he's one of the worst kicks in the AFL. I think the game's gone past that now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Dean sort of mentioned here, the players you mentioned have injury issues. Do you think that is also related to an attitude issue?
It's hard to say, but I think we recruited a lot of players on potential, like Jack Martin, obviously massive potential. Never's made it to what he's capable of. McGovern, Williams, Marchbank before that. We hang on to Cunningham because he's got so much potential. There's lots of players that I think you can have 1 or 2 in a group like that, but not to this extent. I think we've kind of butchered that recruiting process in the last 7-8 years.
Well, there's also the question around list management and the contracts that have been given out. So it's like my guess is that we've given premiership salaries to players that have barely won a final.
Yeah, true.
We paid on potential. But I'm sure at the time when Charlie kicked 5 goals against Richmond in round 1 in 2018, a lot of us were saying, sign him up, lock him in. So
Charlie or Jack Martin? Was it Jack or Charlie?
No, Charlie kicked 5 goals in round 1 2018 when he was third year, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So we signed him to a long-term deal pretty much straight away.
Look, I don't mind Charlie. Yeah, he's got he doesn't chase, he doesn't do the hard yards. He's a superstar.
Do you think it's reasonable that Charlie's just had a bad year and he needs a full preseason and not 3 surgeries to be back to his best? Or do you think he just doesn't want to be there?
I think it's probably a combination of both. You wouldn't want to be there.
If you had to pick one.
I think if you've had 3 knee surgeries, you're not going to be at your peak. You can see he doesn't jump anymore. He's not as athletic. He tries to wrestle. So I think it's a bit more. I don't think he's fully. Obviously, he's not fully fit, but I think he's played injured. part of the year or all the year.
Well, yeah, had the ankle reconstruction last year, and I think it was in December, and then
2 or 3 knees.
There were 2 other. I think there was 2 like knee cleanouts, but he was under the knife 3 times.
Yeah, and again, so yeah, I think and look at Harry. Some people think get rid of him, but his effort is unbelievable. Last week, he had a poor first half, 10 tackles. He does a lot of gut running. I love Harry. I don't think you can get rid of a player that gives effort plus more.
Would love goals.
Yeah,
would love goals. I mean, he's kicked 10 goals, I think, or 11 goals for the year, which we just need. We just need more. Like, need more.
I think that's a lot of it's got to do with the way the ball's kicked. You just see,
I don't disagree with that. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all.
Booted on top, and you can just see it every time the ball goes forward. You can see what's going to happen. So
11 goals, 6 from 9 games this year.
That's pretty ordinary. That's pretty ordinary. But that's probably a
solid $1 million plus a year, and that hurts. And that hurts because when you invest X amount of salary cap into one player and you don't get the return, you feel it.
Definitely, but I think this year's the first year that you question him. I don't think the last 3 years he got his kicking right. He's won games off his own boot. I think as much as I love Charlie, I think Harry's output consistently has been, and effort has been better.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Harry kicking 4 or 5 goals this week, while the plethora of small forwards around him do all the tackling.
Well, I think I won't take all your time, but I think that's part of the issue. We've got 5 small forwards in our team that don't kick goals, that can't play anywhere else, that don't get the ball. You just go, what the fuck? I don't get it. I don't get how many, and we're dying out for outside pace and run, but we're playing, Durden, Motlop, Fantasia when he was fit. You got and White. I like White, but there's lots of players that don't contribute, and you got kids like Wilson. I don't know if he's any good or not, but at least he's got pace and he's got good skills from all reports.
Yep.
So, well, that's it from me, mate. No, thanks for taking my call.
No worries.
Love listening to you. All right.
Thanks for calling in.
Cheers, mate.
See you, mate.
Bye.
All right. Wow, we're going to end it there. That was meant to be like, I don't know, half an hour, but glad to see people are up and about, ready to chat. I wonder if it's going to continue tomorrow. We'll see. Thanks for tuning in. That was the Michael Voss presser. If you're watching this after it has finished, leave a comment below. What did you think of the presser? We'll see you tomorrow night for the fan cams. I may not be available during the day for game day stream, which is kind of why we did this. Take care, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Go Blues.